and it streams is what it does. It's a streamer. Stream every movie that you could think about, every video you can think about, news, weather, everything, one player, and the price is going to blow you away. It's crazy. It's just a little way that for the people will be able to do what we do each and every day, and we'll be announcing that. It'll have information on our website. Very excited about it, but it's a cool product. Just when you think people can't improve on things and make things better for you, and the price point's just phenomenal. So I've been messing around with it, and I'm pretty excited about it, and I think you will be too. A really disgusting thing that's taking place, and I really feel sorry for those in California. There is a tsunami of sewage that's spilling over from Tijuana. I mean, this is absolutely disgusting, and I'm not even kidding about it. This massive sewage spill. We're talking 140 million gallons of sewage spilled into the Tijuana River in Mexico that flowed into the Pacific Ocean on the U.S. side of the border. Spill spanned from February 4th to February 23rd and was caused during repairs to a major sewer pipe, the International Boundary and Water Commission said. But San Diego beaches closed because of the spill, and it's believed this was found out to be purposeful. They purposely did this. It was deliberate, according to the California mayor. And that's a lot of sewage for the beaches in California, and that's terrible. And the mayor described the incident as a tsunami of sewage spills. San Diego County beaches, which typically would be closed by such a spill, were already off limits to swimmers and surfers due to the runoff as a result of recent storms. And the Imperial Beach, for example, was closed at one time in 2012 after a pipe broke in Tijuana and spewed nearly 3 million gallons of sewage into the ocean. And over the years, large sewer spills on both sides of the border have worsened conditions. The Tijuana River, and one of the most polluted waterways in the country, according to the San Diego Union Tribute. Says the old sewage infrastructure in Tijuana and the lack of any plumbing in some residents there have been blamed for the problem. So, looking into that to figure out how they can curb the sewage issue there in Mexico. Cute, don't you think? Or not? How's your Friday going? I hope yours is going terrific. Appreciate you tuning in today. Got a nice cup of coffee in the studio. It's gotten cold here. It was like 57, 58 degrees with winds about 10, 15 miles per hour, up to 17 right now. Northeast getting ready to get a nice cold spell. And with all this wind kind of blowing up through the Midwest here, I hope not more tornado action. So make sure you have your weather radios. If you're in a tornado-prone area, thunderstorms break out, and you watch your weather. I'm a firm believer of no weather radio. You get these weather radios, and it's that season, it's that time. Make sure you got batteries in it. Power goes out, you want to hear what's going on. It's accurate. It's really timely information. The electric goes out, you got the weather radio. The alarms go off. They're going to tell you to take cover when things spotted. It's spot on. It might be a little annoying for some of you because NOAA has the computers hooked up to giving the weather reporter. The information is put in, and this robot voice comes on. It sounds pretty good, but it's speech recognition, and some human voices in it, but you can tell that it's a computer spitting it out. But I'm a firm believer of that. And these weather radios, they have saved lives. They have. You can look into it. Thousands of lives from people that have warned other people throughout the country through the years. And, you get one $15-20, and you don't have to buy another one for a long time. You can have an outdoor antenna, but you got to make sure that you have it somewhere where it's juiced up. Got those fresh batteries in it, and somewhere where you can hear it and know what's going on. So that way you got enough time to take cover if a tornado is in the vicinity or one has been spotted, and it will tell you. and it will tell you if there's a warning or a watch, and there's visual displays on them. So if somebody, doesn't have, hearing, there's flashers and all sorts of things on them. A lot of different things going on to protect people. And there was a time where people actually listened to the radio a lot more than they do. And some of you listen to your hometown weather station or radio station, which is great. And we appreciate our affiliates that do such a great job informing you of the weather in your town that you're in. Thank God for local radio and for the folks that carry this broadcast. We love radio. I mean, I started my career in radio, and, you figure we're just available so many different places. But radio, to me, is the gold standard. I mean, if you're not on radio, you're not doing too much. People say you do a podcast. Well, we have a podcast version of the show, but it's a broadcast first. Then it becomes a podcast and on demand and on YouTube and on Facebook and all these other places. And this is a rarity for a lot of big shows that go out via satellite. We're listener supported, and we're not a religious show, even though I believe in Christianity and JC. We are 100% proudly. We're not bought. We're not controlled. We're not censored. We don't sit down and people tell me you can't read this and you can't read that and you can't say this and you can't say that. There was a time I worked for a Christian broadcasting network for many years, and we'd have to have those meetings. And it was frustrating because I really wanted to give my opinion. And I didn't feel like I was far off, but there's a lot of stations that'll do that. You know why? Because of the advertisers. That's right. And so that's why we want to keep it the way it is. And so if we have a relationship with like this media player company, they'll give us a few dollars per purchase. That's terrific. We're not going to make a killing off it, but it's a few extra dollars. That's a good thing. But people get worried about it, and, they'll say when they're selling advertising, oh, well, that's controversial. I don't want to wrap myself about that business. Well, I think about this guy that I saw yesterday. I went to the Target, also affectionately known as Target, which is a real name, but I call it Target. This man boldly, proudly, unapologetically was riding in his Ford pickup truck, and he had a Trump flag on it on Dale Mabry Highway here in Tampa, Florida, up and down the highway. And it was a huge flag. Make America Great Again, Donald Trump. And an American flag, and you could tell that he was all so proud. And I thought to myself, good for him. I didn't hear anybody honking their horn, giving him the finger or anything like that. And it was how refreshing I thought it was. Thank goodness. Still, there's some decent people out there. By the way, I was in a drive-thru with my daughter this morning. Somebody paid for our breakfast in a nice Mercedes. Thank you very much for doing that. That was out of the blue. There are nice people out there. For the People will continue on your radio right after this.
You survive this thing called life. We're for the people, for the people, for the people, for the people is there.
It's unlike anything you've ever been through in your life, man. I was driving. This kid threw a grenade at us and went right over our vehicle. It was 12 years old.
The shockwave went through my head, rattled up my brain, and left.
Danger is around you 360 degrees at all times, and you can't unlearn that.
It's impossible to describe the sacrifices these men and women have made to protect our freedoms, and the job of rebuilding their lives is massive and growing every day. Many will need the programs offered by the Wounded Warrior Project for years to come.
I didn't know what PTSD was. All I knew is I was having nightmares. And when I got released, my reintegration was go check in at the VA, man.
My first coping mechanism was use drugs. Just numb it, don't feel anything.
I was angry. I'm trying to pull myself out of that right now.
Your gift today of $19 per month will honor and empower these veterans so they can aid and assist each other.
The Wounded Warrior Project is a life raft.
I can say this without question that I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for it.
Wounded Warrior Project is the first step, getting back out into the world and reforming yourself outside of the service.
Call or go online with a pledge of $19 a month. You'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket, and your gift will provide critically needed programs that rebuild lives.
That was my first feeling of actually being a part of something bigger than myself again.
Well, I lost a few really close friends overseas, and if I quit, I'm going to let them down, and I'm not about to do that.
I'm learning to face my fears head on. To trust and see what happens at the end.
It's a long process, but I had the drive and desire.
Please, call or go online with your gift right now.
For the People is on the air for you. Each day we strive to tell it to you straight, not watered down, so you can know what's going on each day. Our show is different from many of the others on air. We're not afraid of the PC police, and we explain our position, at the same time understanding the left's position and what we can do to further a conservative agenda for America. For the People is listener-supported and relies on listeners like you to help us get the word out. So, if you like what we do and want to help For the People, sign up today at our website at forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. Your support allows us to report the news fearlessly and guarantees our survival on the air. As a thank you, we'll send you our monthly newsletter with commentary and money-saving tips. Can we count on your support? Thank you for helping America. To become a For the People member, log on to forthepeopleshow.com. Now, and ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to For the People. I'm Keith Allen, and here's another story from the Associated Press today. I'm reading this, and I'm thinking, you got to be kidding. Not another one. It's at a VA hospital, and thank God for cell phones, I got to tell you. People videotape, they record, and hopefully this will make a big difference here. Well, this cell phone camera posted something on Facebook this past Saturday by the wife, a Marine that also there to see a doctor, according to the Huffington Post. Jesse Lee was withering in pain in his wheelchair while he was waiting, and then another man, also in clear distress, lay close on the floor. And then the heart-wrenching sight inside the waiting room of the Durham Veterans Affairs Medical Center is what I'm talking about, specifically in North Carolina, was captured, on a cell phone. Well, Lee, identified by the Huffington Post as a 63-year-old Vietnam veteran, told the media outlet that he ended up waiting for 5 hours to be seen by medical staff, and it was the worst thing to ever happen in my life, Lee said. It was really, really bad. I waited about 2 hours and went up to the nurse's desk to find out if there was something they could do because I could no longer stand the pain. It was making me sick in my stomach, but they told me to go back and sit down in the waiting room. And then after about an hour, I asked if there was something that they could do. Of course, they eventually saw him. Officials of the Veterans Hospital, they don't deny the accounts by Lee and by Hannah, who took the photos and put them on Facebook. Shonda Pearson, a public affairs official there at the medical center, said that, they're investigating the accounts. And I actually called up there, and something should be done with this inquiry. She said that it's been unusually busy in the emergency department, which handled more than 100 people that day. Well, all these allegations are going to be investigated, she said. Interesting enough, on their website, and this is what they say. The hospital, since 1953, has been improving the health of men and women who have so proudly served our nation. We consider it our privilege to serve your health care needs in any way we can. Well,